Don't drop that mug. An author you didn't love. Put this series off for just a little bit longer. Oh no. Hi, my name is Caitlin, and if you're new here, welcome to my little corner of the world. So today we're doing the TBR prompts, pick my February TBR. I watch Rachel Catherine do these, and I think it's just such a fun and cute idea to pick books that are honestly just kind of sitting on your TBR, just waiting to be read. So I have about 25 prompts in this little mug that I painted, by the way. Isn't she so cute? Anyway, so I'm gonna pick about 6 to 7 books depending on how intimidating the books I pick are. So let's not waste any more time and get right into it. We're gonna go ahead and just shake up our options and go ahead and pick it. It's a big one. I don't remember what this one is. The next book in a series. So I'm gonna go ahead and see what options I have, and I'll be right back. So I have 4 books that I was able to pick out of my bookshelves that count as part of a series. So we have X's and O's by Amy Leah, which is the second book in the Influencer series. We have All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is the 3rd book in the Natural series. We have Ruthless Vows, which is a part of the duology to Divine Rivals. And we have Keeping 13, which is the 2nd book in the Boys of Tommen series. Honestly, I think I'm going to take Keeping 13 out of the running and leave it up to the 3 that I showed you before. And I think of those 3, it's really between Ruthless Vows and All In. But I think for now, I'm going to choose All In because I feel like with these books, they are such easy reads. So I feel like I'm going to pick this one now for myself in the future, just in case I get, like, I pick more fantasy books than like romance books for this month. So this is going to be like my easy read. So we're going to go with All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and choose our next prompt. And we have ask your friend to pick a book. So I think the friends that friends that I'm going to ask is my 2 book club besties, Lainey and Emily, and I'm going to give them 3 options to choose from and see what they pick. Okay, so here's the options that I'm going to give them. We have Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. We have The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith, and The Roommate by Rosie Denan. So I'm going to go ahead and text them and see what they say. And we'll check back in at the end of the video to see what they pick. Okay, so time for the next prompt. I really hope I don't drop that mug. So this one says, a book by an author you didn't love. Okay, so let's look through some of my options and I'll come right back to you guys. Okay, so I was able to find 3 books amongst my bookshelves. So the first one we have is The Long Game by Elena Armas. I liked The Spanish Love Deception. It was not a favorite of mine. It was one of those books that I first read like when I got back into reading. So it just wasn't a favorite of mine personally. Next we have From Blood and Ash, and to explain this one a little bit, I read Fall of Ruin and Wrath by her, and I really wasn't a fan of the writing or just like what was going on in the book, so we have From Blood and Ash, which that book scares me, I'm not gonna lie. And then we have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've mentioned this before that I wasn't really a fan of The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo or Daisy Jones and the Six, so I think out of these 3, I think I'm gonna go ahead and give Taylor Jenkins Reid one more try, only because I genuinely know nothing about this book, and I think that's why maybe I didn't like the other 2, was because I kind of already knew most of what was happening, and then it wasn't it for me. But this will be my one last shot book for her, so this is gonna be on my February TBR. Now on to our 4th prompt. We have a book with the name in the title. All right, so let's see what options we have. So we have 3 options for this prompt as well. The first one being Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. We have Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. And we have Ruby Spencer's Whiskey Year. I think out of these 3, I have talked about Delilah Green Doesn't Care and reading this one specifically in February, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and choose this one for my February TBR. Okay, so now into our 5th prompt, and I feel like my TBR this month is kind of random, but I kind of love it at the same time. So, next book, we have a book starting with the letter S. All right, so let's look through some of our options. All right, so we have our options. The first one is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. We have Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. And we have Shadow Me by Tahara Mafi. I know this is an option, but I feel like I need to put this series off for just a little bit longer. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and choose Sorcery of Thorns, only because I had said in December that I wanted to read this book. This was like one of my 10 before the end book. So I feel like I need to do this book justice and read it for the month of February. Okay, so now time for our 6th prompt, and I think I'm gonna end up choosing 7 because the books that I have picked for this month so far aren't very like intimidating, so I feel like I could get through them. So let's go ahead and choose our next prompt. We have a book that intimidates you. So the way that I interpret this one is something that's not like a fantasy or a romance. It's kind of like neither one of those at all. So let's see what options we have and let's see what I pick. All right, so first we have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. We have, oh no, we have A Little Life by Hanya Girahara. Oh God, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. This is a scary book. And then we have Ace of Spades. I think, this is actually kind of hard because honestly I've been avoiding all 3 of these. I think I'm gonna just go solely based on what I feel like I would enjoy the most. I think it's gonna be The Midnight Library, which I've had for a hot minute, and it kind of just stares at me on my bookshelf, like, and I stare right back and I'm like, I'm not gonna read you, but now I'm gonna read it. So The Midnight Library by Matt Haig is our 6th book. All right, and for our final prompt, it is going to be a 5-star prediction. All right, so I'm gonna pick 3, maybe 4 books that I think will be 5-star reads, and we'll pick from there. I've gone ahead and picked 3 that I think personally will be 5-star reads for me. The first one being Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. And Keeping 13. I think based on the books that I have picked, I don't really have any fantasy. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and pick Powerless by Lauren Roberts. And I think for book club for February, I think we're reading this one anyway. So I'm really intrigued to read this book, and I'm so happy that I'm finally getting around to reading it. So for technically the last book, I forgot that Lainey was at work, so technically it's just really Emily picking the book, but I'm pretty sure by the time Lainey responds later tonight, she'll say the same book. So Emily ended up choosing The Roommate by Rosie Danan, which actually ends up being really good because this puts, I believe, 2 romance books in my TBR. So I'm excited for this one. So let's go over what our February TBR is going to look like. So first we have All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which this was the prompt series that I've started. We have A Book That Intimidates Me as The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. We have a book that starts with the letter S, which for Sorcery of Thorns. We have a book with a name in the title, which is Delilah Green Doesn't Care. A 5-star prediction as Powerless by Lauren Roberts. We have the book that my friend Emily picked as The Roommate by Rosie Danan. And we have Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid with the prompt, a book from an author that I didn't love. Also, hi. Hold please. Editing Katelynn here. I forgot to mention that I'm also going to be reading Queen of Shadows for the month of February. I'm doing this as a buddy read with Lainey, who I mentioned in this video, who didn't get to respond to the text, but we've agreed that we're going to buddy read Throne of Glass series because we want to get finished with it. So this is going to be like my 8th book on my TBR. I just didn't pick it in a prompt. So these are the books that I'm going to be reading in February. I am honestly kind of excited to get through these books because these are books that I probably would have held off for a little longer reading if I could. So I'm excited to get around to finally reading them. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!